The market launches higher as the bulls take out last week's high. Is it off to all-time highs? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that last week's high and low were the two key levels that mattered, and which one broke first would be very telling in what we saw next, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. The market launched higher, taking out last week's high and moving up toward the 4,500 area. Now the question is, are the bulls off to all-time highs? I'll get to that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the push over the high, it does change things in the counts. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. As you can see, we got that big, strong move up today, took out last week's high, and moved into the 4,500 area. Now, this area up to 4,550 is going to be very critical for the bulls. We're going to need to keep an eye on it, and there are a few things we need to look at on the chart to understand exactly what we're looking at in the bigger picture as well as in the short term. So for the short term, okay, I am still looking for a C wave down. I'm counting this as A, B, so this A wave down, then you have a pretty clear ABC so far. And then we look for that C wave down into the 4220 or 4250 area on the move down. And that would give us wave 4 of a bigger wave 3. Now from there, we would look for a very strong move higher in 5 waves toward the 4,800 area. So that is my primary count as it stands. We'd be looking for this C wave down before the next move higher towards 4,800. And the reason I'm looking for that pullback instead of the direct move is based on the structure we have here to the upside. This is a pretty clear 3-wave structure right here. Then you get a breakdown, and this is a pretty clear 3-wave structure so far. And there's a couple other things on here that matter in the whole bigger picture aspect of moving directly higher. The first thing is, if this was all of wave 4 of 3, you would expect wave 5 of 3 to target the 4,800 plus area. And right now, based on waves 1 and 2 here, we're only targeting about 4,630, which is about 170 points shy of where we need to be. So that means wave 3 is going to have to extend quite a bit, about 170 points. And while that's not an impossible thing for it to do, given the size of this structure, that would be quite a big extension for this move up. And we would look for them to extend almost up to the 2618 at 4717 in this wave 3, then a 4 and a 5 up to 4,800. So that's a really long extension that you wouldn't expect to see in this direct move up. The other thing is this move, as I said, is pretty clearly 3 waves, and the pullback is very deep. It looks much more like a B wave than a wave 3. Now, some things to consider for that direct move up are we are at about the 1.0 at 4,500. This is a pretty common C wave target where A and B of this B wave, so this is A up and B down. This C wave up should target the 1.0 extension of these two waves, which is about where they hit today, slightly above that at 4506 or so, 4508, slightly above that, but not so far that you're thinking it's crazy. And then you would look for a move down. But NASDAQ is right at its high, so I could see a little higher here up toward 4532, but we have clear parameters, and that's really what matters. We have a pivot now since we have a 1 and 2 in place, and we're starting this move up, and they've hit the 1.0 extension. The pivot is the 618 to 764 of waves 1 and 2. So this wave 1 up and this wave 2 down, or this wave A and B, however you want to count it. It all is the same, that the 764 and 618 are the area that on any pullback, the bulls need to hold. Should they break down below 4450 or 4449, should they break down below that, it invalidates this move as impulsive, and you would likely see that C wave down at that point toward the 4,200 area. Now, we talked about a diagonal move down, and that doesn't truly go away until we get over the 45-43 area. But with this move up over this high, it does make it less likely that it's going to happen. So I do not have the diagonal on the screen anymore, as it does become less likely given the height of this move up. So pretty clear parameters overall. I am expecting the C wave down, and should we break 44.49 to the downside, that would indicate that we are likely in that C wave as long as it's coming down in a 5-wave move. A direct move over 45.50 would be a problem for the bears, as we would be getting over the 764, the 1382, and we would likely see more upside from there in a bigger squeeze. Again, that would need to extend quite a bit, and that does make me a little cautious about a direct move up. But 45.50 is the key number for the bulls to get over to kind of take away that C wave possibility. And 44.49 is the number that the bears need to break to tell us the C wave is happening. Over on the NASDAQ. Okay, on the NASDAQ, they just pushed over their high here. The 1.0 does target 15,549, so they're well below that. They don't have to hit the 1.0. It's just a common target, so we would expect potentially a little more upside on both charts into that area. On that area, you have this high right here that failed, this move up that failed down. You have these resistance points. You got 3 of them right here. So you have a lot of resistance as well as the 1.0. So the fibs line up with resistance levels. This will be a key area for the bears or bulls to break through should they want to continue this move higher. They did push through the pivot, but they have not hit the 1.0. So on the NASDAQ, we don't have as clear of parameters. Until they hit the 1.0, the pivot is not as important on pullbacks. So what we'd want to see is if they hit the 1.0, then they have to stay above 15,241 to keep it valid to the upside. So pretty clear parameter there. If they turn down from here, they turn down from here and we start C down, but we'd want to see an impulsive move to the downside. So you'd want to see a 5-wave move to get started, and then a 2, and then so on. And that would target that 14,000 area to the downside on the NASDAQ. So as I said, ES needed to bring up its target to the low side, as did NASDAQ. Both of them were sitting at the very bottom of the big bullish pivot down there. 4,200 and 14,000 were the must-hold levels. This move higher just raises those levels and makes it more manageable for the bulls to come down in that C wave and then push higher from there. So I still expect to see some downside here. You also have September, which is one of the worst months of the year seasonality, So very likely to me that we get the C wave down into the 14.2 area or so, and then a move up in wave 5 of 3 from there. But again, should they push up to 15,549, we have very clear parameters. The bulls would need to break 15,241, or the bears, I mean, would need to break 15,241, and the bulls would need to push up to the 1,236, but even a little more than that, over this blue box here at 15,700 would really be the breaking point for the bears. So pretty similar on both charts. We just have much clearer parameters on ES than we do on NASDAQ. But essentially, it's can they hold the blue box on NASDAQ? Can they hold 45.50 on ES and then push down in that C wave? Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. And once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to love it, and I want you to become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners course. This course is helping regular traders understand the market in a way they never thought possible. Instead of reading the news and not understanding why positive news makes the market go down and vice versa, you can actually understand the levels and waves to trade off of and why the market does what it does. It's 25 videos in 3 sections where I go over an introduction, where we go expectations, mindset, why it works, and the KISS method. We also go through the chart setup and tools, where I give you every tool you need to use along with the Elliott Wave system so that you can confirm tops, bottoms, and turns and failures, all those different things. And the Elliott Wave for Beginners course, where we go through each wave, how it works, where it fails, why it fails, where it confirms, what the targets are, and how to trade them. It's a powerful course that can allow you to start beating the market and understanding how to trade it instead of being confused by the news. It does come with both monthly memberships. So if you don't want to buy the course, you can become a part of one of our trading rooms. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are interested in day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. Something you kind of have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, showing how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Okay, key takeaways for today. We have pretty clear parameters on the ES. They have hit the 1.0 extension, so as long as the bulls are above 44.50, 44.49, pressure remains up. However, if that level breaks, we would start to look for 5 waves down to get that C wave towards 4,200 or so. Over on the NASDAQ, not quite as clear. The bulls need to push up to 15,549 to the 1.0 extension to give us clear parameters. At that point, we would look for 15,241 to break. Should they break down below that, that would confirm that we are not going to have an impulsive move up and more likely have the C wave down toward the 14.2 area to complete that move down in wave 4 of 3. However, should they continue pushing above this blue box, the 15,700 area becomes very key. Above that, the bears are in big trouble. Guys, that is the market update for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.